everyone, I'm Kelly and this is Kelly Hill Yoga. I am so stoked for today's practice. Today we are going to cultivate some focus. We will do so by getting the body moving so we can create some space, clean up the clutter, so then we can kind of just let go what's happening maybe within our body physically, or just kind of let go of all those I need tos, schedules, stuff that just really can bog down the mind. I really like to think of this as, imagine being in like a really cluttered room. You just don't have a whole lot of space to move around, have some freedom, right? So today we are going to clean out that space and just clear the mind, clear the body, so we have that freedom to just really be ourselves, be in a healthy place. So whenever you're ready, come to your mat. Today, I welcome you to use 2 blocks. It does not matter, and it doesn't have to be blocks, just something maybe to provide some support. We're just going to be bringing that ground up a little bit closer, so it's not 100% necessary in order to do this practice. I welcome you to try it out without it. So let's just come to a nice, beautiful, easy pose here. And legs crossed in front of us. Take a minute and just shift the body around a little bit before we even close the eyes. Find that center point. Find where we can be really grounded in our spine here, grounded in those sit bones, that bony part of our pelvis. Just take a minute to shift and find that center. And then once you do so, bring yourself to stillness. It's not about perfection, just bringing yourself into this space. And I really like to visualize like this ebbing away, or this peeling back, layer by layer, pulling everything into this space, turning that volume up to you and yourself. So let's just gently bring the shoulders up towards the ears, and then walk those shoulder blades down towards those back pockets. And take the back of your head here and just gently press it into the back of our space to wake up that cervical spine a little bit. And I welcome you to bring your hands in any little variation you wish. You want to feel a little bit grounded. You can have those palms face down. And just bring yourself to this moment through the breath, without manipulation. Thinking you're supposed to be in this perfect zened out state, like instantaneously. This is a practice for a reason, so just maybe gently telling yourself inhale and exhale. With compassion, asking yourself to come to that beautiful natural rhythm of the breath, that cadence that creates a gentle rise and fall in the chest, rise and fall of the shoulders. We'll start to create this beautiful idea of making space, making room for that freedom to cultivate focus, clarity. So let's just gently start to deepen the breath here, not forcefully. Maybe it's just as simple as elongating that inhale. And visualize that rib cage, the side of the ribs, reaching as much as you can from side to side. Expand that side body. Take that breath there. And do the same thing with the breath, reaching forward and back, creating space from sternum to spine. And now reaching that crown of the head up towards the sky and ground through those sit bones. So from top to bottom, create space. And then do so with all 3 of those beautiful breaths. So creating this wonderful, powerful breath, taking up all these wonderful planes. Maybe a gentle stretch comes with that beautiful breath. And if your head is still all over the space, that's okay. If you're feeling anxious, ready to get rock and rolling in this practice, that's okay. Just Be as gentle on yourself as you can. Let's start to really connect here. Let's bring our hands down to our sides. You're more than welcome to keep those eyes closed. And inhale, sweep the arms up, maybe palms up towards the sky. Let's bring the palms together here above the head. Exhale, come through. Bringing those hands to our heart space as we exhale. And repeat. Inhale, arms slowly come down to our sides. Reach up. Overhead, exhale, hands come through the heart space. One more time. See how far apart you can reach those fingertips, how high you can reach those fingertips. Palms together, exhale, hands through the heart. Beautiful. Now when we come to the top of this next inhale, still reaching those arms, let's just gently open up laterally now. So we'll reach this left hand like we're drawing a big rainbow over to the right. Let that left hip get nice and grounded. Slowly come back to center, reach and lengthen, and then do the same thing on the other side. So draw a big rainbow, a big arc up and over towards this left. See if you can keep that right shoulder reaching up towards the sky still, so we're not rounding through. Back to center here. Inhale, reach and lengthen that spine, and then we'll just gently twist over to the right. Take that gaze over that right shoulder. Just working through natural range of motion. Slowly come back to center. Reach the arms. Exhale, open to the left. Slowly come back to center. Now we'll do a little variation on cat and cow here. Getting playful today. Inhale, reach the arms. Interlace the fingers here above the head. So you have this little bowl you've created with your hands. Palms face down. Inhale as we pull our sternum forward. Reach our hands back. Little baby back bend. Exhale, round through the spine. Reach those hands as far away from the shoulders. Take that chin towards the sternum. Inhale to repeat. Arms reach up, maybe even take the gaze up a little bit here. Exhale, round through the spine. And the more you reach those shoulder blades apart from each other, that upper back might open up a little bit more. Let's do 2 more rounds here. Top of this next one. Open up. Little baby back bend. Exhale, round through. Reach yourself back up to that neutral spine. One more opener. Reach those arms out to side here. Palms face forward. And then little baby back bend again. Heart pulls forward. Hands reach towards the back of our space. Gaze comes up towards the sky without crunching in the back of the neck. So just gently lifting that chin. And then exhale, round through. Give yourself a big hug. Inhale to open. Like we're presenting ourselves here to the world, to this practice. Open-minded, open body, just ready to get moving. And even if you're here just to have a little bit of movement, that's okay. It doesn't have to be this deep purpose each and every time we come to the mat, right? It's just about coming back. Last one. Slowly hug it out. And then we'll reach ourselves back up here. Hands come to our sides. And let's make our way into tabletop here. Slowly making our way there. Let's take the shoulders over the wrists here. Spread your fingers really well here. And let's tuck the toes. Our knees are underneath our hips here. We'll inhale and lift our hips up into our downward dog. Walk it out a little bit. This is your first one of the day. This is my first one of the day. So my hamstrings always do some talking. So just find what feels good in this moment. Maybe it's swishing those hips. Maybe it's getting really beautiful and wave-like in your spine. Shake that head, yes and no. But once you find that little space to open up, come to stillness here. And let's hold for 3 breaths. One more inhale and exhale. Let's bend the knees here. Inhale to pull yourself forward into a high plank here. Exhale, shoot those hips back to downward dog, getting wave-like here. You might need to adjust the hands a little bit, depending on your body. You might have those long limbs. Inhale, pull yourself to plank again. Exhale, shoot those hips back. Beautiful. 3 more rounds. Inhale, forward to plank. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale. Exhale, downward dog. Last one. Inhale, pulling ourselves forward. Exhale, downward dog. Big, powerful inhale. Once again, bend the knees, gaze forward, and let's step towards the top of our mat into a forward fold. But see if you can take that step with your non-dominant side. So big step forward with that non-dominant foot. Walking your way there, just changing up those neurological pathways a little bit into that forward fold. Grab the elbows if that feels good. Take the feet hip width or a little bit wider. Release those elbows down to your mat and let your head really hang heavy here. And then we're going to use our inhale here to provide a lift. So as we inhale and create that space, it will lift ourselves up to halfway, hands to the shins or thighs. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift again. Breath pulls you up. Exhale, fold. Last one. Inhale, halfway lift, and we'll hold here. See if we can hold this for 3 breaths. Or just however long feels good to you. Come out of this at any moment if you wish. Just work on that alignment, strengthen that spine, reach that crown of the head away from that tailbone. Maybe even a slight little back bend here as we shift those sit bones up towards the sky. Next exhale, release, fold it down, bend the knees. Slowly make your way up to stand here. Sweep the arms up and overhead, reach. Lengthen, exhale, hands to our heart. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, sweep the arms just like when we were seated. Lengthen, exhale, hands to our heart. Yes, last one. See if you can reach even further, opening up. Exhale, hands to our heart. Let's just do a slight little check-in here. Embrace any little shifts in our energy. Shifts in the mind. The heart is going. That's a beautiful thing. It's balance within us without even have to actively think about it. How amazing and powerful is that? That our body just does that shift, elevates that heart rate to keep up with this movement today. One more beautiful breath here. If you're having one of those days, that's okay. Maybe it's keeping it as simple as just telling yourself inhale and exhale. Slowly bring our hands down to our sides here. Let's interlace the hands behind our back, coming into a little bind. I'll flip so you can see really quick. Interlace those fingers and then walk those shoulder blades back without splaying a whole bunch in the rib cage so that booty doesn't pop out. We keep that tailbone reaching towards our mat. Big inhale, exhale, push the hips back, forward fold with this bind. Crown of the head release down. Stay here with those hands close to the low back if this is just enough. Or if you want to, you can take those hands and reach them towards the front of your space, opening up that heart a little bit more. Coming back to this idea of cleaning out the clutter, creating all this wonderful space in our bodies, in our minds. Gently bring those hands back down to that low back. Release the bind. Bring those arms down to hang. Let that blood flow, circulation. Recalibrate for just a moment. Inhale to halfway lift, strong flat back. Exhale, fold. Beautiful. Bend in those knees. Sit the hips back. Sinking back into our chair. Inhale, reach the arms in front of us here. Strong, powerful chair. I'm going to turn so you all can see me. I'm going to walk you through this first little round here. We're going to do a little marching chair. So let's take our weight, shift it into our left foot. This is our first chance to cultivate that focus and work on our balance. Shift your weight into the left foot. Press into that left foot as we rise up. Peel those right toes. Lift that right knee. Beautiful. Right foot comes down to meet the left. Sink back to chair again. Weight shifts into the right foot now. Press into the right foot. Rise up. Left knee lifts. Standing knee. One more time on each side. See if we can get a little bit more fluid here. Sink back. Weight into the left foot. Inhale. Rise up to the standing knee. Right foot comes down. Sink back to chair again. Weight into the right foot. Press into your mat. Rise up. Standing knee raise on this opposite side. Beautiful. Left foot comes down. Sink the hips back. Hands to our heart. Just give them a little break here. Sink back to this chair. Belly button pulled towards your spine. Let's hold this for 3 breaths. You can do anything for 3 breaths. I know you can. Come out of it if you need. One more inhale. Exhale, forward, fold, release. Ooh. Beautiful. Getting rocking and rolling now. Inhale to halfway lift here. Exhale, plant the hands. Let's step our right foot back to runner's lunge. Beautiful. Sink those hips down. Let's grab our blocks so they're nice and handy here. Let's grab our blocks and frame our front foot here. And let's bring them maybe to the highest setting here, just having them ready. Okay, inhale, rise up to our high lunge or our crescent. Holding here for 1 breath. Beautiful. Reaching forward as our hands come into that bind behind our back. So reaching forward with our torso, coming into this halfway lift in our crescent. Now, step that back foot about half the distance here, toes pointed forward, transition to that pyramid. Beautiful. Hips reach back, opening up with this bind in our pyramid here. Remembering to breathe. Gaze down, nice flat back here. Release our bind. Come towards those blocks here. In fact, let's have it on that mid setting here, yeah. Bend the knee, lift our back leg as we transition into a supported warrior 3 here. So you choose what height you want the blocks. We want to have a nice flat back here though in this warrior 3. All right. So now let's engage that core, engage that left leg, and see if we can get those hands to hover above that block. Just for a breath. Beautiful. Find that balance. You're doing amazing. One more inhale. Reach that right leg a little bit more. Reach that heart a little bit further forward. Right foot comes to meet the left. Forward fold. Find that breath. Shake that left leg out a little bit there. Inhale to halfway lift. Nice flat back. Just reset. Exhale, fold. Whew. Root to rise. Reach the arms up. Let's do those 3 cleansing breaths again. Hands open to the sides, reaching up towards our heart. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, sweep. Exhale, hands to the heart. Last one, inhale, sweep. Exhale, hands to the heart. Check in. Have a little gentle sway. Maybe match the breath with that little sway if that feels good, if it brings comfort. Close the eyes if it feels good. Just give a pause here. Maybe see how that headspace is doing, how that clutter is feeling. Just being here in this moment. So powerful. So wonderfully tapping into that infinite potential. Hands down to our sides. Inhale to reach up again. Exhale, let's rock out that little marching chair again. We have the rhythm this time. So see if you can make this one powerful fluid movement now. So sink back to chair. Belly button to spine. Weight into left foot. Inhale, rise up to that standing knee. Right foot down as you sink back to chair. Weight to the right foot. Rise up to standing knee. Left foot down. Last time on each side. Sink back to chair. Rise up to standing knee. Right knee lifted. Right foot down. Back to chair. Shift to that right foot. Press into the mat. Left knee lifts. Belly button still to the spine. Hands to our heart. Sink back to that chair again. Hold it this time. We'll do 5 breaths here. Staying strong. And when we're in a very intense pose like this, intensify the breath if you have to. Provide that comfort, that oxygen that your body is craving right now. Beautiful. 2 more rounds of breath. I know you can do it. Maybe sink a little bit deeper, belly button a little bit tighter towards that spine. Next exhale, release. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands. This time, our left foot will go back. Almost mixed up my sides there. Grab those blocks. Let's have them at the highest setting again, or whatever setting you used for that warrior 3 before. In this runner's lunge, set your foundation. Then rise up to this crescent. Slower you move, the more purposeful, the more time your body has to adjust. So don't rush to get in this fast little adjustment of rushing from one posture to the other. All right, breathing and holding here. 1 moment. Hands come behind the back again as we reach our heart forward to this half lift in our crescent. Then we hop that back foot, half the distance into our pyramid. And I should have mentioned this on the other side, but we want to have our feet slightly apart from each other. So instead of being a tightrope, imagine those feet being on just either side of that tightrope. Heart stays lifted. Reach that crown, reach those hips, maybe reach them just a tick more towards the back of your space. Release your bind, hands to our blocks. Bend in this front knee, just a micro bend, warrior 3, as that back foot lifts here. Find your balance. With these halfway lifts we've done throughout our practice, bring it into this warrior 3 now. Now see if you can get those hands to hover just above the blocks. Holding there. Find somewhere to focus as I almost fall out of this. Beautiful. 1 more inhale. Exhale, left foot comes down to meet the right. Forward fold, set those blocks off to the side. Inhale to a nice, powerful halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And then we'll step our right foot back here and walk our hands over to the right in this wide leg forward fold. And let's take our toes and kick them in just slightly here. Coming into this wide stance, grab the elbows if that feels good. Let's bring the hands down to our mat. Walk the feet in, set up for our yogi squat. So you choose the width of how you want your feet, toes pointed out. Exhale, sink into our yogi squat here as you hear my knees creak and crack as I come into this yogi squat. Lift our heart, and let's just activate our abductors in our hips for just a moment here. So we have our forearms or our upper arms on the inside of our legs here. See if you can get those legs to release some of that pressure on the upper arms by activating those abductors. Beautiful. Let's stay here for 3 breaths. Go ahead and release those hips now. Let them get heavy after that slight activation. Let this be passive. And on your next exhale, walk the hands behind you. Set up for our last little bit of strength here before we head downstream. So let's lower all the way down to our back here. Adjust on your mat if needed. Take your time getting there. Bring the feet as we set up to do our bridge pose. Bring our hands, palms face down, and walk the shoulder blades so that upper back gets nice and grounded. It's as if those collarbones are reaching apart from each other and you're trying to make them as long as possible. Tuck that chin. Inhale, lift those hips up into that bridge. And let's hold this for a few counts. Come into your bind if you want. Interlacing those hands underneath that sacrum, walking the shoulders even more apart. So reach in those collarbones. Let's hold here. Elongate that inhale, elongate that exhale. One more inhale, lift those hips. Exhale, slowly lower down. Release that bind. Hips come back to your mat. Hug the knees into our chest here. Little rock from side to side if that feels good. And let's do one last powerful activation before we come into our Shavasana here. Let's take our forehead, when we're in this tiny little ball here, our Apanasana, and let's bring that forehead towards the knees and hug those shins and make yourself as teeny tiny as possible. Tiny, 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 tiny little ball. Activate anything and everything. Exhale, release. Expand. Take those legs out nice and long. Maybe a little bit wider than hip width. Hands out to our sides. Walk yourself into our final pose, Shavasana. As you get settled, take the time to get all those little shimmies and shakes. And let's really take advantage of this state we have put ourselves in. All that beautiful movement, let all that powerful energy activate and release within us, opening ourselves to this wonderful, wonderful end of our practice where we can have as much clarity as our mind to body is allowing us today. And as I mentioned earlier, it's not about being in this perfect state. It's just that practice of being aware, reeling yourself in, attempting to clean that clutter as much as possible. So let's inhale through the nose, that beautiful three-dimensional breath. Exhale, release. Inhale through the nose, slight pause at the top. Exhale, let go. On this next inhale, pause at the top, filling yourself completely, all the way down to the tips of your toes. And then as you exhale and invite that release, imagine yourself melting into your mat, slowly ebbing below the surface. With each sequential breath, sink deeper and deeper, letting go more and more. If the mind tries to take off on you, come back to that breath. Count it if need be. Maybe count that inhale, count that exhale. Just be compassionate with what you're giving yourself in this moment. Please stay here as long as you need. Take advantage of this time that you've created for yourself, that you've pulled out of your day. That takes some wonderful self-awareness, takes discipline to be here. So stay here as long as you like. Embrace this feeling. I thank you so much for being here today. Open yourself to this idea that you have everything you need. You have all those tools. They're there. They're in your toolbox. It's just cleaning that clutter so you can see them. Create that space. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I love you.